Alright, after hours, welcome back, people. We're going to get right to it. We got the wide view. We got a few boxes here. We're going to open them up. They should be very similar items. This is one of the computers we tried diagnosing. It was the, I believe, sticky video. So what we should have is a motherboard. We got to open both of them up to see which one it is. Okay, this is a little out of hand. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. Well packaged. Well packaged. Alright, we have one. I see no fan, so I think we can check on the compatibility factor of this with a fan. And this one is quite the wrap job. It's got, you know, safety when you want to get it here in one piece. Alright, much better. Right, we'll stick that in a pile and see what we have here. They should be really, really similar. But we don't know that yet. If there is any problem with this order, please contact us directly first. You know what, give me a second. I gotta take this noise suppression off. Let's get rid of this filter. Noise suppression. Remove it. Yes. Alright. Let's see what we have. No. Do we have a match? That's what I'm wondering. And I think we do. And our fan even plugs in. Let's get this in for a closer view. It's a little bright, but you know what? I think it's going to work there. Very, very similar. We're going to set one to the side, and we have to assemble. Whoa, what was that? We got a mic cutting out. Well, maybe it's going bad, who knows. or batteries dying, one of the two. I do, however, have a way to monitor so I can hear when the mic actually cuts out now. So when I lose audio, I know who is out there today. The chat's awfully lonely. I didn't send the welcome back. Sorry about that. We gotta get some more people here. If you watch this, chances are you know somebody that may want to watch it too. Alright, so we need to clean thermal compound off. RAM. This is fairly clean, but we'll re-clean it. And again, the whole point of this is, alright, let's take a look at these motherboards. I don't need the fan in the heatsink there to make the point. I don't think we can set them both that way, and you can see that they are indeed the same. Same motherboard. Both of them allegedly good, might I add. We also have something that is very similar, except for it's missing a few things. Most notably, a RAM slot. We have two there. We have this awesome cooling mechanism. Like, really? We know this doesn't keep stuff cool at all. Like, it doesn't cool near to the same extent that a fan will. And sadly, I've seen a lot of these boards, and I'm not going to go all time since they've came out. I'm just going to go the past 2 years. I've seen so many of these come across the bench, and most of them have one thing in common. That's a cooling solution like this. Now granted, what is the actual problem? What failed on it? I don't know. I don't do a lot of diagnosis at component level. I want to get more into it, and like I said, that's later down the road. We're going to skip it for now though. These are the same board. It will be compatible as far as I know, and it's quite an upgrade. Usually the boards you find like this are Intel, low-grade Pentium, AMD chipsets. There's little teeny tiny processors. Like, let's just make a point real quick here. We have two samples here. Well, three to be exact, but we're going to set that one to the side. Okay, here. Wow, that is horrible. We'll adjust it up like that for now. And then frame rate shouldn't be changing. Anyhow, slightly better. We'll angle this differently. We've got AMD here. This board is dead. We have an Intel board here. This one is dead. Generally, the ones that have this type of cooling mechanism, which is just a plate and no fan, are going to be your AMD chipset or your low grade, like the Intel Pentiums, the entry level. Very basic entry level, low powered, low clock speed, doesn't generate a lot of heat, Pentiums, and possibly they've put these on some Core i3s, but not to my knowledge that I know of. They generally use the fan and heatsink combo. I've seen way too many of this board. This is one of your average cut corners computers. They cut all kinds of corners on it from a big box store. True, this is a similar model, but it's slightly upgraded. It's going to be a much more expensive model where you're getting one of these usually for under, I'm going to say $299 and down. You're probably talking $350 and up on average. Maybe if you find a good Black Friday sale. So, slight difference. The computer this is going into is an HP. Before we can get to that, we're going to get this dead board out of the way with the awesome cooling and move on to what we got here. So this particular laptop is going from, what was it, an AMD, you know what, let's look it up. We know the model number. Let's take a moment and look this up. Okay, Celeron N3050. Okay, so I was mistaken. When I said the dead one was AMD, it's an entry-level Celeron N3050. What we are moving to is a Core i3, I think 4th or 5th gen, I'm not sure. We'll check when we boot it up. Slight upgrade. It's going to be a completely different computer. RAM options, you have 2 slots now compared to 1. And funny enough, the board's the same shape, all the ports are the same. It's all gonna work as long as this board's good. Alright, mic does keep cutting out, I hear that. So we might have a low battery. We're going to ride it out and see how far this battery will get us. Right, that part's done. We need to attach our fan. Should be here. We have the screws and then the wire. Now, why do this? Why jump? Why not just order a direct replacement? Well, one, if you get a board that is a direct replacement, not new, most of them, even though they say new, 100% working, pulled from a new system, whatever, do have some life on them, generally. Unless it's a very reputable company, and you can confirm that it is new and not used, chances are the board's going to suffer the same fate that your previous board suffered. Going from the Celeron to the Core i3, it is a bit of an upgrade, but it's not like going from a cheap 2-in-1 laptop or a tablet up to a desktop, like a gaming desktop. You're not getting that much of an upgrade, but nonetheless, you are getting an upgrade if you go down this route. So let's get everything set back up. We're gonna crack into this and see what we can get done. Wow, that's pretty broken. We didn't have orders to fix it. We have a bottom case here that we could definitely do that. But should we? We could ask the guy. Take it in trade for a couple pets. No. No. SATA cable, USB. Got our Wi-Fi. And that. Alright, let's go ahead and get this new board seated in. We may have a problem. This may need to be moved. Maybe not. That's to help draw heat out. However, I don't know if they're there. If it's going to cause a thickness issue, it doesn't look like it. But it could. Let's put it together and find out. And the last conversation I had with this client, this guy here, I told him, your computer works, it just doesn't display to the LCD, only to an external monitor. And he didn't want that. He wanted it working normal, so that's what we're going to go for. Right, it is plugging on, it's just being a little, it's wanting the fight going on there, but it is the same jack. The only problems that I'm aware of when doing this, swapping out one motherboard for one of a slightly different model, is when you're going from like a non-touchscreen computer to one that has a touchscreen. You may be missing a port on the board. Generally, I think it's this connection here, right beside the display connector. We have this little black port where something can plug in there, and that's usually the touchscreen on this series. I don't know if all the motherboards are equipped to handle it, but I know that's where you can run into issues, is with the touchscreen not working properly. Or say you have a touchscreen laptop and you get a board that wasn't a touchscreen model, it may not light the screen up. There's a few things that I've seen when doing this type of swap. Alright, let's check our connections. We have the DC jack, display, speaker, optical drive, daughter board, and then the hard drive plugged in SATA. There should be nothing else. We have a few screws to put in. Oh, getting over a cold, kinda. Perfect time for coffee. Alright, we need a few shorter screws. One, two, there should be 5, I think, 5 or 4. Let's count them. Looking for the arrows again. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, we're definitely cutting out. Just stand a little closer to the transmitter. Actually, this one don't count. This is for a 14-inch laptop. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Still 4, that would be 5 if we count that. So ignore my previous statement. Since it's not a screen issue, we're going to put our other screws back in this thing. We did, whenever we were testing the screen, we just left 2 screws in diagonally, not all 4. So we'll put those back now and reassemble the bezel with the top lid. It's really weird when you're doing this and you hear yourself and you hear the noises you're making, like you're actually monitoring the audio. I don't know how many other people do live streaming and monitor their audio, but it takes some getting used to. I suppose if I'd been doing it this way all along, with like an in-ear monitor or 2. Oh, listen to that mic. Yeah, I'm gonna take a moment and swap batteries here. I don't know which one's dying, but we're gonna solve it. Okay, sound. We've got 2 dead sets of batteries, sadly. Everything is together there. Let's go for the top lid. We have a few things to plug in here. And let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 5 very short screws. Six? Did I count wrong? Now, one thing I want to note too when doing this. Are you going to be able to start your computer right back up? Perhaps with the Intel Celeron to the Core i3 or i5 if they even made an i5 in this model. Perhaps it'll install a few drivers and keep working. AMD to Intel, you're more likely to have more problems. But I do know some people have done that, managed to. Typically, if you want everything working properly, you're looking at doing a reload on Windows. So that would be evidence or whatever for doing a direct replacement, not like an upgrade. But do you really want a cooling solution that's already failed you once? Alright, we have a few things left. Wi-Fi and RAM. PC3. Generally it tells you, I think we have a sticker in the way, whether it's DDR3L or DDR3. And let's find out what happens. Maybe maybe it lights up all of it right in our face, burns down. Alright, so let's take a look. Upon plugging it in, we do get our normal, and that didn't focus worth. There it goes. We get our normal power light, not charging because it has a battery. Let's see if it's going to charge. That's another issue you may run into if you do too much of an upgrade. You're probably going to go from like a 3-cell to a 4-cell battery. So far so good. It looks like it's charging. The Celeron and then the Core i3 variant both use the same battery, to the best of my knowledge. But maybe not. Maybe we have a live fail again. If it doesn't start, could be RAM. Mike, you're cutting out. What's your problem? Or a dead board. We got another bunk board, which happens quite frequently. Alright, proper HDMI. Alright, Wi-Fi went from orange to white, so that's a good sign, but we still have no display. And guess what? We can't access our battery. What location is it at? If this is in there like that, it's buried under the corner. We're going to reset our system, which sadly we have to open it. You know, let's try regular DDR3 instead of low voltage. DDR3. And no display. The computer is acting like it's on, so maybe we've got a bad board here shipped to us. Believe it or not, that happens quite frequently. If it's not, why is it going from orange to white though? That's the thing. Alright, so hitting the only key in reference to the monitor does not send it out to an external display. So we're back to diagnosing something that we're supposed to fix. Dead board or other issue. We're going to pull the power and pull the battery, which sucks. Generally, I Frankenstein these back together to test. I figured, hey, we ordered it, what could go wrong? It's a new board, supposedly, allegedly. Sadly, eBay is becoming more and more, and I don't want to badmouth eBay on its own, but it's becoming more and more of a place where the stuff that's working in the ad isn't when you get it, or they don't know what happened to it. If it's something that's broken, they don't know what happened, and it almost always ends up being water damage or something else for like switches and game consoles and other things. At least we didn't put it all the way back together. So we do have some hope there to find out, is it a bad board. We're going to pull the battery. Also do a time check. I got a date with the kids tonight. Oh, we're really cutting out. I do apologize. We're going to bring some more batteries in from the house and try and keep more than just one set on hand. Alright, this battery. So about this battery. And like I said, this here doesn't really want to plug in. It is plugged in. But it doesn't, I don't have confidence with it plugged in. How it is. Like, it doesn't remind me of being plugged in solidly, so that is something to look into. It is the same connector. If I have to look up the specs and the part between the two laptops, the one this comes out of and the laptop we have here, and which one this board originally comes out of, the research I did last time, it is the same display cable. You plug it in and it snaps right in place. It's just not as tight as on the original board. If the display cable is the same part number, it would seem that it is universally the same part number, being that if you order it for this model, this part number, you order it for 2, 3 other models, it's the same exact part number. So I can only believe that it is right. we're going to go ahead and pull the battery. We'll give it a moment or so, and we're going to Frankenstein it this time instead of rebuilding it to save time. And also, if it doesn't work, we'll test the other board that we got in. PO, CO. There's a lot of roads you can go down when you get a board that is not an exact replacement. There can be issues. Issues, people. Alright, we're going to do the bare essential build-up. Don't even care about a keyboard at this point. One of them that came in that appeared to be dead had a bad BIOS. I recovered it and it worked fine. Need to check that. We were in back there messing with displays, so we need to make sure that the tape held and the cable is plugged in. Wi-Fi we won't need. I suppose RAM is a partially important part. Let's go back to the stock DDR3 low voltage. And we will need at least the top case for the power button. Alright, let's think about this. We got RAM, no keyboard, no nothing. The display is allegedly plugged in. Let's try and lift this up carefully to see what we can see with our fan. Do we have fan spinning? Indeed we do. However, we have nothing with the display. And should be the same, nothing on an external. But the computer is acting 100% like it's booted up. So, power down, we'll move on from this for now. We're going to try this other board very quickly. Before I forget, we're putting a mark on the fan. Ours did not come with it. If we send it back, we don't want to send somebody a fan. So, let's go to the assembled board and see if we get a different result with it. Kinda hopeful, but then not really. You can't get too excited. Get hopeful and you get let down. HP, what are you doing to me? HP wages war on a single guy in central Pennsylvania. Imagine that headline. We're going to see what happens with this board. If it at least boots, then I'll be somewhat happy. If we have two duds, got to question everything and check everything over again. Very good. But not today. We're just going to plug this in and move on. Let's see that one there? That plugs on completely different from that other board. And this, and the board we pulled out, are identical models. Identical, but this, something about that display port is not right. We have that. We need what? RAM? Let's put one stick of RAM in. Get the top case and see what happens. How will we end the stream today? Failure or somewhat success? I'm guessing failure. Alright, we have a power button. We have RAM in. We have our normal light that powers to the laptop but not charging. Is our fan spinning? Indeed it is. And we'll see if we have an external display or internal. Oh, the batteries are getting low. No external display. Same thing. So we're going to have to go further over this and see what could the problem be. Why are these two motherboard replacements bad? We can't access the SATA cable without lifting the board. Let's see if they're doing something dumb like Toshiba does. Hard drive unplugged. It shouldn't matter with the hard drive in there. But we at least want to get to a splash screen. Alright, fan spinning. However, no display. No, it is unplugged. Sorry about that. Compatible? Not compatible. So swapping. Is there issues? We're going to find out tomorrow. Or did we... What are the chances we got sent two pieces of junk? That's what I really want to address. Likely or not likely? We'll find that out tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. I wanted to do a successful swap. However, yeah, I think we're going to go to someplace other than eBay for motherboards. I don't know. I think both of these came from eBay. And like I said, I don't want them to have a bad name. But let me count here. And it's not just doing a situation like this where you're trading up from a Celeron processor to a Core i3. It is, we have 2 HPs now, an Asus and a Toshiba. All 4 motherboards for all 4 of those computers. Ordered them when they got here, dead boards, sent it back, got a replacement, and 2 out of the 4 cases, the replacement didn't work. These are the next 2 cases. We're going to find out how this pans out. So it's happening more and more with the dead boards. I'm not going to call it quits yet. We're going to check all routes, checking if it needs a recovered BIOS. It doesn't seem to. Everything's acting normal with the light on when you plug it in. The lights if the hard drive is plugged in. And I don't know what the other one is. I think the other one signifies power to the computer when it's on, even though they have that. Yeah, there's quite a few things to check. I will get into that tomorrow. But thanks for tuning in. We end it with a fail. You can't win them all. And if we have to order more motherboards, we will. We want to get these going. And this guy wants a cooling solution. I explained to him about it. So he does want a way for this to cool properly, but not this. This doesn't work. No, apparently this doesn't either. At least not for this board. Alright. Have a good evening, a good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's one of those. If you do this stuff, take a break from it. Go get some fresh air, some vitamin D, sunlight. If somebody else needs help with it, do that too. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it.